We can go ahead and start.
Okay, cool.
And we're recording it, so if anyone jumps in later, they'll be able to see the first part.
Very nice. Oh, we got Clay too.
Cool.
Hey, Clay. How's it going?
Good, you?
Good, good. Nice to see some friendly faces. Well, just to give you a little bit of background, I've been hosting professional events for over 3 years, well, professional as in corporate, and then I've been hosting creative events for more than 7 years. It's been a long time. And then I've been telling people what to do for my whole life. So I've been really well rehearsed at that. So I host creative events around Denton, originally from Detroit, Michigan, Metro Detroit area, and I've been hosting events there. I'm a huge pusher. And I'm a doer, so I like to call myself the creative fairy godmother. When somebody approaches me about an idea that they have, I usually can connect them to a resource or a person or some advice or a venue or whatever, and I just push them over the edge. I like to just wave my magic wand, which is my cell phone, and call somebody I know and make it happen. So that's a little bit about me. COVID has changed a lot of the things that I'm doing. My main mission through all of my work is to connect people and help people activate their goals and their dreams. And doing that from home has been interesting. The ReVamp, we put on a break for a month because so the ReVamp is a quarterly clothing swap, plus it's a creative organization where we push one another to execute and try new things and just kind of dabble in creative dreams that we've always had but never had the support or the confidence to do. So we really push one another to test those limits. But we put a hold on our events for a month, so we'll be coming back in August and trying to reevaluate how to do eco-friendly clothing sharing in the COVID world. But yeah, it's a little bit about me. We've shifted, we've moved some things around, and yeah, I guess my question is, what are your questions? What things do you feel like I want to connect you? So tell me how I can connect you.
So I have a question. I know you said corporate events. That's what you've planned a lot. And that's my background as well. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts originally.
Oh, nice.
So have you seen like a huge shift in corporate events, like not happening anymore? A lot of trade shows, and I mean, we're going to the Dallas Bridal Show this weekend, and I literally have no idea how it's going to go. Like, they're offering virtual options for guests and everything like that. But at least for my business model, like, I can connect well with you in person. It's not that I can't over Zoom. It's just harder to like pick up a timeline and show you something, or like actually point, like, and I know that they do the screen share and stuff, but have you had, as far as how you're booking clients in business, has that changed at all for you during this time period?
Yeah, a lot of so my corporate title is event coordinator and planner I'm a planner for a business magazine and a business association. So the week of Stay Home, we're hosting our 24th annual Women Thrive conference. Like the week it started, so it was that week and we had to cancel it. And our organization has been around for over 20 years. So I have had the pleasure of working with people with many, many years of experience and that have been in the industry for a long time. And we kind of just paused everything right away. And then we decided to go virtual on everything and decided to cut all of our live events out for probably 20 to 2021. And that's mostly because what we've noticed with other organizations and with some competitors and with people that are in our line of business is that we don't want to give the perception that we don't have the public's health in mind. So that's part of it. Part of it is saying we want to make sure that we keep our people and our community safe. But the other part of it is then how do you, one of our biggest draws of our events are the networking. We know that a lot of the people that come to our events get business from the other people that they meet there. And so we do trade show style events. And we're still figuring it out. We're not winging it. I wouldn't say winging it. That's my word. That's what I do. I wouldn't say our organization is winging it. I would say they're making calculated guesses based on what we know and what we're capable of doing. So we know that we have strong connections within the community, and we know that they want to meet each other. So we just have to rely on that fact that we know that they want to connect and that they'd be willing to do it virtually and willing to have that flexibility with us. Obviously, weddings are a little bit different because it is purely based on emotion and that experience of bringing two families together. For us, like me personally, someone who just had a wedding this year, like we decided to postpone the actual physical wedding, but actually get married. And that process was interesting for us. Had I not been an event planner, and if I was just a bride that was like, I'm just gonna throw together a wedding in 3 days, which is what we did, I probably would have freaked out and lost my mind. But I think there is an opportunity there for you as someone who is a connector of those pieces to say, hey, we can do the virtual technology, we can set up your technology, we can help you with your invitations, your digital invitations, we'll handle the logistics of making sure grandma can get Zoom to work so that you in your wedding dress don't have to worry about it. We'll connect, I noticed a lot of people are doing this. The day we got married, we bumped into like 4 other couples that got married that day. We decided on a Wednesday that we were going to get married. We picked the earliest time slot that they had available at with the city, and it was that Saturday. So we had Wednesday to Saturday to get photographers, videographers, get a cake, get the full outfit. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I didn't have the skills that I had, I probably would have wanted to call a wedding planner or somebody that had that experience. So I think you could offer social distance weddings or like quick turnover weddings that are just focused on the bride and groom. And something that I really noticed that I loved about this, that I will tell everybody for the rest of my life, like have a personal wedding and have your family wedding. And so if you can communicate that with your clients and say, hey, like, we know this is really weird, like the time is weird, life is weird right now, but we can give you that experience of a fantasy wedding between you and your partner that captures the moments, that makes sure grandma and mom and dad, wherever they are, can also see those moments, and we'll take the stress off of you. So that's something that we've noticed that we did, that if I didn't have the experience I had, I would have needed that. I would have needed that person. So, just taking that large scale, that 200, 300, 500 person event and bringing it down to what is the core reason for this event and why are my skills necessary? And they still are necessary, whether it's 6 people or 10 people or 500 people. For those of us that don't have experience with events, it can be extremely overwhelming, and you know that. So it's like, be that person for the 6-person wedding the same way you would be for the 500-person wedding. And we're doing the same thing with our events too. We're really, we do 300 plus people events, but it all comes down to connecting to the client and making them feel special and giving them what they need. So we're still doing that even though it's virtual. We're giving them that personal touch. We're walking them through. We're giving them that experience that they are wanting, even if it's not in person. I hope that helps. I hope a little bit, and it's hard for me because I'm a people person. I love to like touch people and connect with people and like look into their eyeballs, and you know, I love that, like see the twinkle, like that's totally my thing. I love it and I'm missing it like crazy, but I feel like everybody is, and we all are, like this opportunity, the fact that we have this technology, it's like we'll take what we can get. You know, I think that people will take what they can get within reason, you know, and the hope is that we don't stay in this situation for long, but we just taper back and we really come down to the core focus, and it's we want connection, you know. And so if we have to do a Zoom meeting, we have to do a Zoom meeting. If we have to do a social distance meeting with masks, then we do that, you know, depending on everybody's comfort level, which I've done. So I used to do like huge photo shoots. I do photography as well. And so we used to do for the ReVamp, like 20 people photo shoots with like 6 photographers and just like hit the streets of Denton and just take over. And I was like, how can we do that? What can we do to accomplish that? How can we still feel that connection of like togetherness and community? I haven't fully figured it out, but one-on-one photo shoots still work. You know, that one-on-one connection still works. And then if you can connect them online and just say, hey, this is my friend, like I love them, check them out, tag them both, say something nice about both of them, and then let them take the lead, like it still does connect people a little bit. It works a little bit. It doesn't work amazing.
Trying to figure it out, right, Amanda?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure it out. I wing everything, so we're winging it, you know.
I know.
But yeah, that's kind of where my head is just be open to trying anything, you know, even if it's a little scary, and try the new technology, be the first, you know, like I'm not an early adapter, like that is not my thing. Like I like to work on things that I know will like give me confidence, you know. So like Instagram and Facebook, but like I think now's the time where we can say, oh, I saw somebody post something on Instagram about this new app, like check it out. Be an early adapter if you can, because that's gonna be the thing that might make you stand out a little bit, or might make people think like, oh, they got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and whatever the new thing is, whatever that, you know, and that might just give you more agility, especially if you're learning those new tools and you're like, okay, this one's cool, I tried it out, I understand how it works, I don't love it, but if somebody asks me about it, I can talk to it and I can talk about it and I can teach somebody something, at least how to log on, you know. So that gives people confidence too, and that gives yourself confidence, like, oh, I'm agile in 8 different platforms, you know. So that's a way too. I don't know what else.
Yeah, I think one thing that may be worth pointing out is that if you are new to a platform, or just all platforms in general to social media, that perhaps it is best to go with the one that is new and upcoming, because you have a greater chance of success that way. Whereas otherwise, like if you're just coming down to Instagram, that's like you're one of who knows how many, you know, there's a ton of users on there. So it's going to be a lot harder for you to rank with their algorithm opposed to a new platform such as TikTok. And I'm not a TikTok person. I'm not a
TikTok person either. I'm not mad about it though. Like, hi. Like if you're on TikTok, awesome. What's up? Sorry, I have it hidden. But like, yeah, like jump on all of those platforms at least once, I would say, you know. And for Instagram, if you are like having trouble kind of sifting through or being seen through the storm of humans, just remember that like your audience is for you, and if you're putting yourself out there as much as possible in the way that gives you joy and breathes life to your projects, your people will find you regardless of how many other people are out there, you know. And so whether you're on a platform that has 100 people or 100 million, like, or however many, you know, if you're doing what serves you best and you're shining and you're living your best life, like people will find you. And don't question the value. Sorry, I have a little fly in my plants. Don't question your value just because somebody else has something similar. Like there are a million different brands of toilet paper and all of them were sold out. Just saying. Just saying. And it goes for, it's like there will always be someone else that's doing something similar, but I had a great conversation with Diva Girl Ellie, which I think she might be on Instagram Live the other day. She said, never try and fit in somebody else's puzzle piece, and understand the value that your piece brings to the puzzle, because nobody can connect the way that you can connect. So shout out to Ellie. What's up, girl? Yeah, I feel like those new platforms, I just haven't gotten into TikTok. I like watching TikToks on Instagram. I will not lie. But I know that there's a lot of like,
I literally downloaded TikTok for this video of this certain Frenchie that I keep seeing on my Instagram.
puppy.
Yeah, that's and that was it.
Do you like it?
I haven't. I didn't even. I downloaded it and then that was it. I didn't even go that far. So
I literally did the same thing.
yeah, I haven't gotten into TikTok or anything really new actually since all of this. I'm really just trying to, I think we can all relate to this. I think Mari talked about this. Just connecting virtually is really hard. I know I've talked about this a lot. I can't connect over a screen like I can in person. And so that's something that I'm trying to adapt to. And I'm looking for all the input besides waving people walking by my house. I think we're all really missing that.
I know. I guess for me, it's really like, you got to do the things that you love regardless. We don't have access to everything and everyone like we used to. So cherish those moments where you do feel that connection, where you are on a FaceTime call with someone and you're like, I'm really in the zone, I'm really connecting. Like, don't let the thought of, I hate doing this via video get in the way of that moment of connection. You know, it's like if you are in the zone with someone, or you are about to like go on a phone call with someone, the last thing you should be thinking about is, oh my God, I hate this. Because that's going to just cloud your entire experience and take away the joy that you might have had you not been thinking about how much you hate the platform. You know, maybe it's a matter of trying different platforms that relate to you. Obviously the touch is gone, and there's always a little bit of a lag, and this is a great example because there was a little lag when you were talking, and that's what makes it hard. Like, it's not real time, but it's not real. You know, it's not, we are all sitting in our offices right now, looking at each other, breathing, alive, drinking our coffee.
And I find myself sometimes kind of like not looking, like not being excited, but then in these moments, I'm very thankful for connecting with all of you and for new people. Like Amanda and I talk all the time, but to interact with other people, it is very special, and I am very thankful for that.
I am too. It's really important for me, but like Mari and Lacey, you've been doing these coffee chats for a while now. Like, how's it been for you? Do you feel like super connected to the community?
I'm glad that we do them. One of the things that we've run into that I think we have a pretty good handle on right now, but something that I'm aware of moving forward when we are wanting to do more events or adapting old events virtual, is to make sure that each virtual experience is like its own unique thing. So like we really try to make the coffee and convos feel different than the lunch and learns, you know, so it doesn't get stale when Zoom is already pretty stale for most people.
Right.
You know, and we're asking people to hop on a Zoom call when they're already probably on Zoom all day with their jobs.
Right.
So just trying to be aware of that and trying to get creative and make it somewhat more engaging to make up for, you know, the lack of the in-person experience. And I'm actually wondering if anyone has any ideas or tips. I mean, I have some things in my mind of.
I feel like Danielle
ways
has been
to
doing What the
incorporate.
Femme and Glitter Bomb and really like shining on social media. What advice do you have?
Sorry, what specifically are you looking for as far as advice? Is it just maintaining connection or?
Creative ways to keep the Zoom experience or the virtual experience from getting stale.
Yeah, of course. So Zoom is a really great tool in the sense that you can do a lot of like screen sharing and audio sharing. Thank God you can broadcast to Facebook, you know, through Zoom without having to download programs like OBS, which require you to have deal with a really great learning curve if you don't have any kind of like program software experience. What I have found has been, I guess, beneficial for us creatively is just coming up with ways to have opportunities to connect. We did a really silly thing to promote one of our online fundraisers the other day. Like Amanda mentioned, and you guys all probably know, I co-host a podcast with Bertie Holly, and she was trying to get rid of cats. She has 2 barn cats that just had kitty litters, and there were like 9 of them. So we did a thing, and I'm glad we're all friends on here. Is this recording, Marty? Okay, great. That's fine. I don't care. We did a segment called Titties and Kitties where I called in from my bathtub in my swimsuit, and she put the camera on the cats. And so we talked about the cats, and we talked about our fundraiser show, and just, you know, opened up the conversation for through there. And that seemed really fun, and people enjoyed it. And then just trying to incorporate parts of our brand that aren't necessarily stuff that's generated by us specifically. So we work with a lot of artists, and we promote a lot of people who are in the fine arts community. And so we found ways to get performances from those artists or talk to them online just in general, and share their work on our platform as a way of promoting them while also bringing in their audience to our brand by being like, hi, we've got Sunbuzzed is playing, so please come check it out. We interviewed somebody from out of state, please come check it out. And so those, by connecting with the other resources that we normally promote or use as a way of bringing them to our virtual side, in turn brings in a greater audience base, potentially, if if the drive is there, if you found the way to connect to them in a way that's engaging. So yeah, I would just say we've just been trying to use what resources are available to us, and then continuing to forward our mission of promoting artists and whatnot. So I think as long as you're like, I don't know, use whatever you've already got. And right now people really just value conversation and any kind of way to connect. So like whatever that looks like for you and your brand is A-okay. There's so many things. There's Twitch, YouTube streaming, Instagram Live. I know you're on live right now, Amanda. Like that's example one. Like
I liked earlier someone said backgrounds, you know. So get creative with your background. Actually inside, I guess I could bring you inside. I'm working on a glitter wall for a backdrop, and I feel like, you know, we've got to make interactive things and art, and really 'cause I have a podcast as well, we're able to connect with people all over the country and bring them in, whereas, you know, before we really couldn't do that. And I feel like it really opens up our audience and the people we get to connect with.
Yeah, something that Danielle mentioned during the Lunch and Learn last week, that case in point, the whole thing about your guest audience becomes your audience when you have that person on your platform. That was the most views or most watchers at a time we've had for a Lunch and Learn since I've been doing them. And it was because Jasati, you know, shared it on their platform and everything. And that's something that I've been hearing a lot from, I think Jake Laughlin was a Coffee and Convo host either last week or the week before. I have a really bad memory. But something that he was talking about was, if possible, to always try to get your guest or your, you know what I'm trying to say, to share on their platform, on their social media, about what they're doing on your platform and everything. So I don't know if that
think-
could be helpful for.
Cross promotion, everything.
Yeah, I have to, there's a couple of things that I want to touch on. Like, one, Danielle was talking about finding creative ways and doing things that make you feel good, that still align with your mission. And this kind of is two-part. Like, one, involve your audience in some way. That's always been how I've wanted to execute my events. Like, what can the people that come to, you know, our event, not my event, but our event that we're creating this experience together, what can they do? Like, what are they going to do when they get there? And so before, while hosting live events, it was like, what can they do with their hands other than drink a beer, you know, or other than eat food? For the people that are shy or wallflowers, or the people that are extroverted and, you know, still want to do things, what can they do with their hands? And you can still do that and really engage people virtually by saying, you know, wear an outfit that's all pink, or do a full face of makeup, do your hair with a futuristic theme. Like, give them something to do so that when they are getting ready or talking about it or, you know, thinking about it, they have more than just a link to click, you know, more than just, okay, I log on at 9 and then I just sit there and listen. You know, what else can you do? I know a lot of people are doing bingo and things like that, but like, take it to the next step. Like, what is my audience doing when they wake up? What are they going to do when they put it in their calendar? Are they just going to put it on this day? Or are they going to say, okay, I need a shopping day. I need an extra hour to get ready in the morning because I want to align with this theme, and make them invest their time and energy into it, because that's what people want. They want things to do, you know. And so for us, we are people in the community that are activators, and we have the gift of being on a platform where we're leading. So they want things to do. Like, when COVID hit, I was really ready to just like stop the revamp altogether. I was already in a place where I was like, I'm tired. I've been working really hard. Like, I want to take a break. Everybody wants to take a break. And I was ready to just like shut it down. But every single person on the team was like, we want to stay connected. We want to keep doing things. We still want to be together. We want to interact with one another. And so I was like, okay, I can't forget that these programs are not for me, but they're for the community that we do them for. And their need to connect with one another is greater than my, you know, whatever I was feeling at the time. So I just had to give them things to do. I was like, okay, well, we need to make Instagram challenges. We need to do more blogs. We need to interact with people in a different way. You just, you know, the barrier to entry is not always the front door. Sometimes it's the side window, you know?
And we did that, and like the number of people that I saw individually that told me, and even for myself, like putting on makeup, putting an outfit together, what else reason did we have besides this revamp Instagram challenge? And hearing it from other people saying, you really like inspired me to do something. It was like, okay, this is what we need to connect, and it is important. And we're still, I know as the revamp team, you know, we took a little break to
Which we needed.
to revamp.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. And reevaluate, you know. But I think it's, you know, people, like, there's a large group of people out there that just want like a little bit of a push and a little bit of direction. That's all they want. And once they get that little push from someone that they connect with, or someone that they look up to, or, you know, then they'll be like, okay, I'm going to do this and execute it in a way that makes me feel good. And they walk away with that same joyful experience and that great opportunity to stretch their creativity in their own way. And we can all, like, no matter the size of your audience, no matter if there's 5 people that follow you or 500 or 5,000, they just, some of those people just want a little, they just need a little nudge in the right direction. And that little nudge takes people a really long way. But then we, you know, as people who are creators and people who are the people that are executing, sometimes we need that little nudge too. So, you know, look to one another, look to each other's programming, look to people that you admire, do their challenges. If you're reading a book and it says like, write something down, do it. Like, I know people will just like read through it and just be like, okay, I'm reading this passage about how I'm supposed to write 3 paragraphs. Like, I normally just skip over that, but I recently did all of the activities in a book and I was like, oh, I get it now. Like, I feel connected to the person that wrote it, and I never even met this person ever in my life. But because I did that little thing, the little activity, the little push, it opened up my horizons and opened up my perspective to so many different things. And I feel like if we can give that to people, the little push, like, they'll still walk away feeling fulfilled to some degree, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry,
I didn't know if I
somebody
was
on
talking
Instagram
over
said,
someone.
take the action. There's some people talking. Take the action. We multiply our greatness through being around other great people. And I think that's a virtual too. You know, I think like this conversation is that for me. That's like just being able to be around people and share ideas, like here for it.
Yeah, I think, Mari, y'all did the podcast with Shelly at the dime store, right?
Yeah, it's
and I
Madi,
think
by
that
the
was
way.
Madi?
Sorry.
Okay.
Madi.
No, thank you for correcting me. Sorry about that. So I think that was really great, and it was very helpful, and that, you know, we get, at least I did, as did others, I'm sure, got to hear the whole story of the dime store and got to hear from her learning experiences. And there was a lot of key points that she touched on that are relevant to a variety of entrepreneurs, whether you're a physical product or a software as a service or whatever else you may be trying to sell. And so I think that even in those instances, if y'all intend on continuing doing the podcast, that it may be helpful to do a podcast episode prior to doing the coffee and convo. So that way people have context as to what this person's experience is on a much broader scale, and then they can come with those questions that they may have already.
You mean like having the podcast guests as a coffee and convo post after?
Yeah. Because then that just allows them to further engage with the community, and first it would already be where they talk with you or Lacey, whoever the host is in the future, but then also gives us the chance to kind of put some thought into it ahead of time and to really be able to garner the real value. And then who knows, maybe from that conversation, from the coffee and convo, that may lead to a new blog that you'd want to publish later on as well, just by transcribing it. And it can be very efficient. So.
Yeah, definitely. That's something we were kind of missing. Oh, sorry, you go.
No, I was actually going to switch topics, so feel free to respond.
It's okay, you're good.
I was just going to touch on the ReVamp as well, because I love what y'all do, even though I never personally went to an event that y'all have hosted. I'm all for, you know, conservation and eco-friendly practices and environmentally friendly clothing as well. And I was wondering how much time it really takes to set up those types of events, because now obviously that's not going to be, you know, the right way of going, or how y'all choose to go about it for a little while at least. So are you planning on incorporating technology into it at all? Like maybe allowing people to reallocating that time to get products uploaded to a website or something like that so people can shop still?
I'll just go ahead and cut in as the ReVamp's techie. I have been trying to figure out how to do a virtual swap. The level that sorry, I'm outside and there's something growling at me. But the level that we swap at would be overwhelming to do in like a Facebook group type setting, because I've thought about, like, you know, setting up a Facebook group where people post things that they want to, you know, exchange, and it would be overwhelming. I mean, at our last swap, we had 600 pounds of clothing donated.
So like, just to give you an idea of what it's like, we essentially set up a full flea market within an hour. So the amount of donations that come in, it's like, it takes, I mean, we have over 20 volunteers, and that, you know, and that was at our biggest event, but it's like, within an hour, we've taken an empty space and turned it into a full-blown flea market with zero product. We have zero overhead, zero product ahead of time, and it's purely donation. And then all of that 600 pounds of clothing, that's what's left over at the end of the program, and then we donate it out to the community. So the amount of product that's going in and out, like we leave with wagons, multiple wagons full of items. I think for us, you know, thinking about what it means to thrift, or what it means to clothing share, and what technology is out there, like what we have so far, what we have right now, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like I don't think that those are the right platforms. And so we need to come up with a platform that works, that's not going to create that overhead for the client, because there's already a lot of work on the shoulders of the client. So we're like, hey, bring your clothes, bring them clean, bring them in a bag, and then come shop. And that's a lot to ask for, but people are willing to do it because they want to get rid of their crap, you know, they want to get it out of their house. But then if we were to say, take a picture of every item, make it look marketable, make it look worth selling, make sure you like include all of the damaged parts. And so we're kind of still trying to figure that out, like what the virtual experience of that is, because I think it is still very, very, very important to do. Like I see the pile, because I have a corner in my house that's dedicated to stuff to get rid of, and the pile is growing by the day. And I don't want to just throw it away, or I don't want to give it to a
Also, I need new clothes as well. Like I got
so
the
you can
pile,
go through them first,
but I need new
know?
stuff. So we want to figure out how we could do this virtually. I don't think, obviously, our current situation, nothing's changing anytime soon.
Right.
This is the new way of life, virtual, social distance. So I really want to find a way to do these clothing exchanges in a safe way virtually. And all of y'all's input is greatly appreciated, because we're still trying to figure it out.
And the part that makes it really hard is that you're taking people's personal items from their house. So you don't know, you can say bring your clothing clean, but you can't, there's no way to really like prove it.
It's that,
you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of liability, essentially.
There's a lot of liability. And there's a lot of liability beforehand, but go ahead.
Absolutely. I do have to hop off for work-related things, but I just wanted to take a quick moment and say thanks. This was a lovely conversation.
Love you, Danielle.
Huge kudos to the entire ReVamp team. I really wanted to mention this because I was fortunate enough to be able to attend several ReVamp events in a multitude of different spaces, and every single time the event is flawless. It runs smoothly. There is no upsets, no hiccups. Like, it is incredible what you all do as an organization. So if y'all can figure out how to handle a 600-pound inventory swap virtually, man, I will be calling you because you need a Nobel Prize or something. There's no way.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're noodling with it, but I appreciate you so much. Thank you, and thank you for all that you do. It's watching you is amazing.
I love you all very much. I'll see y'all later.
Bye. Yeah, 600-pound inventory is like, it's intimidating when you see it in person, but it's all scalable. Like our first swap, we had 10 people there, and we donated 1 bag of clothing, and then over the 2 years, we worked our way up to 600 pounds. You know, so we were able to.
Well, and I think that's like part of it. We have to like rescale and look at it at a different perspective. We
got to start over.
Yeah. Well, everything started over. Right.
No, we have the same mission,
right.
But then we have a new mission of making sure people are safe. And so we're kind of back at the drawing board. And I think that's where a lot of people are in their entrepreneurial endeavors right now. And I think it's okay. And there's a lot of leniency in the world for this moment of transition. So I feel like the number one thing is don't give up on your dream. Like if you are actively pursuing something and COVID put a kink in it, like it's just an opportunity for you to reevaluate your mission and redirect and refocus and gain new skills and make new connections while you're doing it. Like it's not a reason to stop. And that's something that I had to overcome. I was like, we gotta stop. We gotta kill it, like delete it, like get it off the face of the planet. I was ready to just like, I was ready to do that. And my team to back me up. They always do. They always like look out for us and look out for the mission. And if you don't have that team, talk to your friends, talk to us. Like we'll reevaluate your thing, because whatever you're working on that brings you joy is valid and it's important, and you need to do it regardless of if we could be in person or not. So that's my little
something that I've found helpful, you know, with COVID, we've had to get creative, obviously. There was a pre-existing document that Lacey and Heather had done. It's called Starting with Why. It's based on Simon, what is it? Sinek? I don't know how to say his last name. It's based on his golden circle idea, and it's called Starting with Why. So it's like you get to the core of what your organization is about. So why you do it, how you do it, and what you do. So basically I've used that as a template for all of the brainstorming sessions and filtering ideas and being like, because what you guys are saying, you're going to have to start fresh on the revamp, right?
Yeah.
And with that, you want to refer back to your mission and revisit that and everything. That might be helpful. It's been really helpful for me to be like, okay, does this event and the details of it, you know, are we planning to charge admission or anything like that? You know, does this all align with our core values and mission? So that's been really helpful for me. Maybe be helpful for y'all too. I don't know.
I think it will be. And I think we've kind of been making it up as we go, and we have like a rough mission, but we wrote that mission when we started the program, when we only had 50 guests. And that was like crazy for us. We were like, oh my God, 50 people, this is crazy. Like, and that's when we wrote the mission. And so it's completely evolved since then, and now it's going to be evolving again. So we're going to have to, I'm excited to go back and rewrite the mission with our new opportunities. I'm not going to say our new obstacles. They're opportunities for us to really see if like we're about it. You know, if this is what we really want to do, and these are things that we really want to accomplish, like rewriting a mission and values are not, you know, not a bad thing. So I think that's what we're going to do. Like, what is the why again, and start fresh and revamp the revamp.
I love it.
I know. It's all good though.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments? We have about 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop in here. I guess like I have kind of been multitasking, so I don't know if this is covered already, but I guess my question to you is like, how did you decide how to brand the revamp and like make those decisions on what platforms you're going to use, who you're reaching out to, and those kinds of things when you first started out?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty easy in the sense that when I started the program, I was doing it for me. Like, the reason why we had the first revamp is because I wanted to get rid of clothes from my closet. And I didn't have a lot of friends in the Denton area. I had a couple. And so I was like, who do I know that has a relatively similar, you know, build to me that can value my clothing? And then when I started talking to people about it, they're like, oh, I want to do that. I want to go. And so for me, when I was launching this, it was for me. So the branding was something that I enjoyed. The look and the feel was things that made me feel good. And then when I started bringing people onto the team that believed in what we were doing and that really lived that lifestyle of like thrift and reuse and community and giving back to the community, it built itself, you know. It really was like all of our branding are brand ambassadors. So all of the marketing that you see, all of the photography, those are the people that volunteer at the events and that benefit from the events. So we weren't out here like saying, okay, we need this kind of face and this kind of shape and this kind of skin tone, and we need to like create the diversity. It was like, these are the people that are our volunteers. And we're also giving them a platform to express themselves creatively, as most of them like to do. So we're giving them community and ability to attack the community in a way that makes them feel good. And then we're giving them a platform and opportunity to elevate their personal dreams and goals through photography or marketing and branding and things like that. So like the branding really built itself. And I also want to reevaluate that too. Like I'm at a point where, okay, we're taking a break, we're restarting, like let's revamp the branding, because that's going to change. Like, you know, our branding shoots were 20 people deep. We had so many people there, and now we're going to have to, if we do start doing more marketing photos and things, they'll have to be one-on-one or 1 with 10, you know, within reason, within social distancing. So for us, the branding was really built on what do we like? What makes us feel good? We are lucky enough to have Mariah on our team. She's our marketing coordinator, and she's like guru of the social media for us. And she had a vision of what she saw, and the value that she brought to the table was being able to sift through all of the artwork that we created, because there's like 6 photographers, and we were like, here, take 1,000 photos each from 6 of us, 6,000 pictures to go through. But she came to the table as the marketing person saying, I want to build something from scratch, and I want to, you know, and she had the passion and the drive to do that. We had no marketing meetings. We didn't talk about which pictures to use. We didn't talk about which font to use. I, as the leader, was like, I'm putting you in this position, and I'm giving you the full power to execute it the way you see best fit, because that's why you're on the team, because you have the expertise. So go for it, you know? So for those of us that are not marketing people, that have a marketing person on the team, my number 1 advice for you would be have faith in them and make sure that they understand the mission. And if they understand the mission, then the marketing is going to be great. And if it's not, have those conversations and adjust, you know, but it'll never be, you know, as an artiste, it's never going to be exactly what you want it to be, but it's going to always be exactly what you need it to be. And you just make tweaks as you go, you know, but I give her full power. I give her the full range to do what she does best. And I trust that all of the people on the team are going to do their expertise to their best ability. So I just hands off, you know. So that's kind of put the right people in the roles, and then I step away. That's kind of how I do it. So that's how the branding was built. Simple, but I think Mariah probably would have a lot more to say about that. I'm sure. I know she puts a lot of time into it, and she really
she is miraculous at what she does. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the branding side. But for those of us that don't have a marketing person, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Keep it minimal. Your overhead work on your marketing shouldn't take away from the actual work that you're doing. If your marketing becomes more daunting than the product, you're doing too much. You're doing too much, you know? And that's a point where you need to say, okay, I need somebody that has this expertise that can do this with minimal effort, but maximum effect, you know? So keep it minimal, keep it simple, keep it straight to the point. If you're doing it on your own, and do things that make you feel good, do things that make you feel happy. Of course, there's a lot of research that you could do on branding and marketing, and I'm not that person. But and I feel like, Clay, maybe you can talk about that a little bit because you have that expertise. What are your thoughts?
Sorry, I was on mute. I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts on branding and marketing, but my experience in summation goes beyond that, even to operations and sales. But the way that I approach branding and marketing, even that may be helpful to you as far as communicating your vision or your new vision for the brand itself, would be with my brand Playbook. So ultimately, my experience kind of is just specific to branding is what I'm speaking to right now.
Sure.
Having a digital document or a guide, a blueprint, even if you want to call it that, that really hones in on what is it that your brand purpose is, what is your mission, what are the key words that you use when you talk about your brand, how do you identify yourself as a brand as if it were a person, a real human entity. And then what things are you actually trying to change, I guess. It's been a little while since I've looked through it, but it's all still available and duplicable. Or you can duplicate it and then adjust all the copy and whatnot in it to fit the needs of your brand, even down to changing the background theme. So branding is something that I really like because it's something that will stand the test of time if done well. And that's really what you have at the end of the day. Even if you launch a product that is subpar or something like that, your audience will always understand that there's ongoing value just from your brand, and that it all ties back into that. And if you stay true to your brand, then there's no reason why you should, as long as it's genuine and truly valuable information, then you should have a solid brand approach. For me, I'm now in the same boat as y'all are with the ReVamp, where I'm trying to reevaluate where do I need to take Denton Creative, which I even question the name Denton Creative because I'm not even from Denton necessarily. But I love the city more than any place. It really is the reason why I choose to stay in Texas. It's because of Denton. And so for me, I think now I'm at a point where I do need that collaborative feedback. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that I do reach out to and contact are just simply too busy. They don't have the time to really sit down, and a lot of people just don't have time to hold your hand. And so that's really what my intent has been with Denton Creative as well, is that my strong suit, one strength that I have is writing. I'm not the greatest photographer. I'm not a great graphic designer, and I'm really not that great of a writer to begin with. I work really well with writers. But I find that is the easiest way for me to communicate the valuable information that I've learned over the years in my different experiences, especially in branding and marketing. So I think now my next 2 pieces that I'm going to be writing, because I went ahead and took down 3 blogs that were more startup focused. And now I'm just going to finish out with what I just touched on, the operations and the sales side of things. So you'll have your branding, marketing, technology, operations, and sales all in one entity that will hopefully empower anybody who's looking to start a business or brand or anything to start off at least on the right track. So I know that doesn't really answer your question, but that's kind of where my head's at right now.
It shows to your strengths and where your strengths lie. And I feel like for all of us that have a different skill set, what we need to do is either evolve our skill set or involve people that have the skill set that we don't. So like, I don't have, Clay, I don't have your experience, but I have different experience. And if we were to bring our experiences to the table, we'd have to trust, that I would trust you with that, with the branding and the operation side. And then, the others of us would have to execute the vision or write the mission or anything like that, And so I feel like the branding will come once you get your idea and the mission and the operations aspect of your programming together. I feel like the branding will follow. People like to start with the branding because it's fun, but it doesn't it doesn't make sense until you know what you're doing or you know why you're doing it. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
right.
good advice. We are at
I
10. We do have to close the meeting. I'm sorry, I have to hop on another one.
It's all
It's
good.
been really great talking to you guys.
Yeah,
And thank you so much, Amanda.
of course. Thank you all. You all did it. You're all
Thanks.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Maddie.
you.
Thank you, Lacey. Thank
Bye,
you,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.